Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. Look what I have here. I have all of the new e.l.f. What are these? The Halo Glow Beauty Wands. I picked up all the shades in the contour, the blush, and the highlighters in store at my local Ulta, and they all retail for $9 each. I cannot wait to show you guys some up close arm swatches. We're going to be cheek swatching all of these. If you guys want to see these new e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands in action, keep on watching. Okay, so here are the 5 shades of the Halo Glow Beauty Wand contours from lightest to deepest. We're going to start first with this one. This one is in the shade Fair Light. Now, I always recommend just giving these a good shake just to mix up the product, and all of them are going to have that like puffer style applicator. So you're going to twist to open it, and then let's see, I guess I'm going to do these right here on my arm. So this is the Fair Light shade, definitely a cool toned, exactly what you want in a contour. Now I'm going to blend it out. Now these are obviously going to provide some type of a glow. I don't know how I feel about a glow for contour. I feel like contour should be a little bit more matte, but there you can see Fair Light blended out. I probably should have started a little higher up, but oh well. We'll get to that we'll get to that problem later. Next, we're going to do the next lightest shade. This one is Light Medium. There's Light Medium. So this one does have, I feel like maybe this has a little bit of maybe an olive undertone to it. But this does have some more warmth than the first shade. Next up, we have Medium Tan. Add a little bit more on that one. I feel like this has maybe a little bit of a yellow undertone to it. These two are really similar to one another. So far, the fair one is the most cool toned of the bunch. Next, we have this one. This one's going to be Tan Deep. And I feel like they're drying down pretty quick. Yeah, I feel like they're drying down pretty quick. And last but not least, we have Deep Rich. I'm so glad that they have a shade this deep. I know so many of you will benefit from it. I think maybe this shade could have been deeper. This one is the Tan Deep shade, because these three kind of feel interchangeable to me. Like, I feel the major difference is from the lightest and the deepest shade, and the ones in between are kind of, I don't know, interchangeable. You let me know what you think in the comments. So next we have the shades of the Luminous Putty Bronzer, and I kind of just wanted to compare a few of them because I feel like some of them are going to match up to what I have. Here is the deepest shade in the Luminous Putty Bronzer, and this shade right here is called Island Hopping. Pick some of this up. The only one I don't have the darkest shade in is of the Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I wasn't able to get it when I purchased all of them, but there you can see there's a significant difference. But I feel like the finish is going to be the same. And if you want something more of a bronzer instead of a contour, then obviously you're going to go for the putty bronzers, the Luminous Putty Bronzers, or they have the matte ones as well. But since we're doing Luminous, I just want to compare it to Luminous. So now let me go to the lightest shade in the Luminous Putty Bronzer. This one is called Vacay Mood. These came out last year. I'll put that one down here. These are almost identical. Look at that. Yeah, almost. Yeah, that's a very good matchup. Definitely you can see the difference there, but with these, you have a little bit more golden undertone in this one versus this one. And obviously because these are listed as contour and these are going to be listed as bronzer. Okay, so now let me try and match up these three middle shades. I'm going to go in, this was, I think, the second darkest shade. This one is called Get Growing. Is that what it says? Get Glowing, sorry, Get Glowing. Let's see how this matches up. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference there. You can see all the gold undertone in the Luminous one versus the contour. Next, we're going to try this one. This one is in the shade Seaside Summer. That one right here. Those are similar, but again, you can see that the Putty bronzers just have a little bit more warmth, as they should, because they're bronzers, not contours. And then finally, I think maybe this one I'm gonna try. This one is called Sun Chaser. Let's see how that goes for this one. All right, so there you go. We have the new Halo liquid contours over here on the left, and we have the pre-existing Putty Luminous bronzers over here on the right. Definitely some similarities. I really, guys, I don't think you need both. I think if you have one, then you don't need the other. But I'll leave it up to you. Maybe you prefer this style of applicator over to the pot style. But there you go, there are your swatches. Now here are all of the Halo Glow liquid filters. Again, I don't have the darkest shade, which would probably match up with this one over here. This is the darkest shade I have. This one is shade 6. So let's see, I still have them down here. I don't even want to try. I don't have anything that'll match up with that one. But yeah, I think these are more going to be highlighters. I don't know. Let's see. Let me try this one. This one is shade, what shade is it? I can't see from here. Shade 5. This one comes in a glass packaging with a large doe foot applicator. Let me see if I put shade 5 right there. Yeah, that definitely has like more orange to it. Let me try the lightest shade. This one is shade 1. I have a video over these. Yeah, these aren't going to be anything like these liquid contours. These are maybe going to be similar to the highlighters. So I'm not going to keep swatching, but yeah, they're both going to give you a glow effect, but they are definitely different. Okay, let's move on to the blushes now. Okay, so here are the 4 different shades of blush. We'll just start with this one right here. This one is called Berry Radiant. There it is. Ooh, that looks like a pretty shade. There is Berry Radiant. I love this. This is really pretty. Let me just kind of blend it out a little bit. That's a pretty one. Here we go with our next shade. This one is called Rose You Slay. These look very similar to one another. I'm seeing like more peach, maybe a peach and pink in here, but I'm also seeing the same shades, just darker in this other one. Let's go with the next shade. This one is called Magic Hour. This looks like a more peachy, bronzy shade. Blend it out. You can even use that as highlighter. These could all be blush toppers. These are reminding me of the new ones from Tarte, which I was expecting a little bit more from the Tarte ones. To me, they ended up as being blush toppers or highlighters instead of blushes. This is going to be the lightest shade. This one is called Candlelit. Ooh, this is pretty. Oh, this one might be my favorite. All right, so there you go, guys. All 4 shades from deepest to lightest of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Blue, Beauty Wand. Now I want to swatch these next to some of the Luminous Putty blushes. So these are all the shades that I have in the Luminous Putty blush. Let's see, the one I was thinking of for this one was this one right here. This one is in the shade Barbados. Oh yeah, no, that's way too dark. Okay, so no on that one. I'm gonna remove this. Maybe I can find another one. Barbados is a no, but I would love to go visit there one day. Let me look at this one. I think this is gonna be too orange. I just wore this past week. Isla del Sol. This looks a little bit better. Not the same. I'm definitely getting more glow from the wands than I am the putty blushes. Let's try this one. This one is Belize. Let's see if that one can go here. Not identical. Yeah, these are gonna be different. Now, these two for sure I can put off to the side. Let me try, I don't think either one of these are going to match up with these top two, but let me try this one. This one is Maui. Maui there, yeah, Maui's too pink for this one. And then this other one I have is Bermuda. And there you go. Yeah, very different. Blushes are all very different. All right, so last but not least, we have the Halo Glow Beauty Wand highlighters. Let's start with, I guess, the lightest shade. This one is called Champagne. That is a pretty pale gold. Doesn't look super intense, which is okay, especially if you're going to be layering it with those other 2 products. You're going to be glowing quite a bit. Next, we'll do this one, Rose Quartz. Has a bit of a pink shift to it. And last but not least, this one is going to be Liquid Gold. Oh, this is a pretty one too. These are all pretty highlighters. Those are nice. Okay, I know I don't have anything in the liquid filter, the Hollywood Glow liquid filter that's gonna match these. These are all definitely different. Now let's get to swatching these on the cheeks. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go in with the contour shades. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to use this darkest shade. If I do apply this, this is gonna look ridiculous on me, but for those of you with a really deep dark complexion, I think this one is actually gonna work out really well for you guys. You all will have to let me know in the comments if you pick it up and what you think of the shade on your complexion. I'm gonna try working with the other 4 shades. So the lightest shade again is Fair Light. I always give these a good shake just because it is a liquid product. So we're going to open it up, and then you do make sure you want to twist it open and then twist it back closed so it's not like spilling everywhere. I'm going to start with this one right here. Since this is contour, you don't want to go too high. You want to keep it a little bit lower to where your cheekbone is. So something like that. Bring some out over here. Now I'm going to use my Smashbox Cream Cheek brush, and I'm just going to lightly tap this right in here, right under the cheekbone. I don't do a lot of contour, to be honest. I do more bronzer, and when I do bronzer, I bring the bronzer up this way. But for contour, contour is usually a cooler tone shade, which this one is. So for those of you of the fairest to fair complexions, this is going to be your shade, and you can see that it's blending out really easy. Now again, it does say you can tap it with your fingertips, and you can do that. I just prefer using a brush. If you use a damp beauty sponge, I just like to use it like right out there, right on the perimeter of where I placed it, just to kind of help blend it. But you can see it gives like a natural definition to the cheekbone. It's nothing that's meant to be seen all that much. It's more about how you blend it. And I think this is a very good shade. I think this is a good shade on me. Now I want to go into the second lightest shade, which that one is light medium. Give it a good shake, and I'm going to do it on this side, and that way you'll be able to tell the difference. So again, start lower. I'm going to clean off my brush. Now e.l.f. does have brushes like for these types of products. Their cream cheek, what is it, cream? Not cream cheek, it's their Putty blush brush. That would be a good one to use. This has just been my favorite for so many years. Now you can see this one it still has a tad bit of coolness to it, but I definitely see more warmth for this one. So I feel like it could go either way, at least on me. I could use it as a bronzer or a contour. I feel like some of these shades are lacking in coolness. Like the first shade is cool, and I think the deep shade is cool, but then in between we get more warmth. I don't know, you'll have to let me know what you think about that. Now see, all I do is just get my sponge and just kind of press along the edges. Something like that. I'm gonna go deeper on the forehead. Now I do have a little bit of setting powder on, like on my forehead, so we'll see how this interacts with a light layer of setting powder. I'm going to go into the next shade. This one is medium tan, and I'll do that on this side of the face. And again, I am cleaning off my brush in between uses. Now, how you would use contour is you would do the contour first, and then you would go in with your bronzer to provide warmth and maybe a bit of a glow to the complexion. And you kind of want to keep your contour a little higher and maybe bring the bronzer down a little bit lower where the sun would naturally hit your face. Add a little bit right here. Now you can see it's this one, even though it is, what is it, medium tan, it's still really light. And I'm keeping this really close, like to the hairline, because it's meant to contour. And then you can just bring them down together. But I don't really want to mix them. I want you to be able to see the differences in the shades. Now we're going to go in with the last shade, Tan Deep. And I'm going to apply that to the left side. Now these would also be good for the nose. I do have powder on my nose. I have a bit more powder on my nose. I'm just gonna add a little bit more right here. But we'll try it. We'll see how it interacts with that. So I kind of feel like these last three shades, or especially these last two shades, they kind of run into each other. I feel like they're a little too similar. So don't be afraid to buy the wrong shade, especially if you're in like that medium skin tone category. I think either one of those is going to be perfect. Obviously, if you're of a really deep skin tone, then this is going to be your shade. This is a very deep, rich shade, and I'm happy to see it in this lineup. But there you go. These are 4 out of the 5 contour shades. I'm liking this one better. I do like this side. I think this one's good. These are definitely going to be more contour shades for me, and these I feel like I'm definitely going to be able to use them as bronzers. So fair light over here on this side. I think this one's good for the fairest of the fair complexions. And then of course, where is the other one? And then light medium over here. This is also a good one, but I think if I want a more cool tone, I'm definitely going to be reaching for the fair, which is what I want to try doing on my nose. So let's see how this is going to interact. Again, I have powder, like a lot of powder on my nose because I am a normal to oily skin type. And I get really oily on my nose especially. I'm going to use this little Refer 12 brush, and I'm just going to see, I'm really curious to see how this interacts with powder, like major powder. You can bring it in right here to the socket of the eye. This will help make your nose a little more skinny if maybe you have a wider nose. I always go down here. I have a long nose, so I like to cut it off a little bit. Now I'm just going to take my damp beauty sponge and I'm just going to lightly dab. Let me take a closer look to see if it interfered. No, it didn't interfere with the powder at all. That is really cool. See, you can see my nose looks a little thinner. Ah, love it, love it. So now we're gonna do blush, and I'm going to go in first with Candlelit. I'm gonna do a couple dots right in here. More than a couple dots. Now for me, these are already looking like blush toppers instead of actual blushes. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 109, and I want you to see what I mean. You see how light that is? To me, it's just like either a highlighter or a blush topper. Now keep in mind these glowy products, and you can see I have larger pores in here. They're becoming a little more prominent, so you need to be careful with that as well. So that's Candlelit. I want to try doing a darker shade going up, so I'm going to go in with the shade Berry next. I like to take my blush up here a bit. That shows up more, but it's still really sheer. I don't know. These are going to be for those of you, I'm adding more of Berry. These are going to be for those of you that just want a soft wash of color. These remind me so much of the Tarte blush ones that were recently dropped, because those were really sheer. I know they recently dropped like a red shade. The Charlotte Tilbury, what are they? The Hollywood blush ones or whatever they're called. Those are also, I think those have more pigment actually, to be honest, than these do. I'm actually not really liking the way this is looking. Look, I have a stripe there. Don't know that these are going to be for me. I can already tell I'm having issues with them as far as blending, and then blending with the contour. See that? Yeah, look at that. Is it lifting the contour? See, I didn't powder down this side of my face, and it's just not like wanting to blend over here. I'm not really enjoying that. Let's move over to the other side. Now I'm going to do Magic Hour, and I'll do Magic Hour right in here. Again, very light, almost highlighter-esque. You can definitely interchange them. Yeah, I don't like how these are blending out. I have better luck with the contour than I'm having with these blushes. And you can see that they are definitely accentuating texture. Ah, not happy, not happy. Rose You Slay is the last one. Put that up here. Like this one. I think this is my favorite out of the 4. But I still don't really like how they're blending and how they're mixing with one another, because I'm sure you're going to be mixing a couple blushes together, especially if you buy all 4 of them. But I don't know, maybe it's just the formula for me. I actually like the Luminous Putty blushes a lot better than I'm liking these. And they have more pigment, and they don't really accentuate the texture the way these are doing, and they blend out, at least on me, a bit better. Now we're gonna go into the 3 different highlighter shades. So let's see. I feel like I have a little bit more rosiness over here, so I'm gonna go in with Rose Quartz. And this one I'm going to be applying like in a C motion, like that. I'm going to use my Sigma FO3. These are pretty. Okay, Redemption. Now let's go in with Champagne. Champagne is going to be the lightest shade. I feel like these have a fast drying time, so work fast with them. There's just something about this side I just didn't, maybe it was the contour shade underneath. It was too cool tone, and then everything else was a little bit more warm tone, so it just didn't mix well together. But Champagne is a nice color. It's a nice shade. Let's do the final shade in the highlighter, which is called Liquid Gold. And I'm just gonna add some of that up here. Okay guys, so I've officially used everything, all of them on my face. Just add a little bit down there. Let me go ahead and wrap up today's video, and I'll share with you guys my final thoughts, and I'm going to give you guys some recommendations as to other products you might want to consider instead of these. Okay guys, so there were 12 shades total that I was able to swatch and try out for you guys in today's video. 12 shades amongst contour, blush, and highlighter. There's 5 contour, 4 blushes, and 3 highlighters. I will say that I think the contour shades, they're good. I like them. I will probably get more use out of the light medium shade and perhaps even the fair light shade than I will some of the other ones, especially the deepest, darkest one. That is never gonna work for me, but I still wanted to pick it up to swatch it for you guys. I think they're fast drying, so I think you need to work quick, and I would prefer using a brush and then just tapping over maybe with your finger or a damp sponge. But I also feel there's not enough cool tones for it to be a contour. Some of the shades I feel could have easily acted as a bronzer, and that's not really what we're looking for with these. We want contour, we want coolness. As far as the highlighters go, I think the highlighters are cute. I think they're nice. I think they do pack a punch. I like the highlighters. My worst would be the blushes. I didn't really like the way the blushes were blending out. I think it's just, if you're gonna wear all 3, it's just too much glowiness at once. I think definitely the contour, in my opinion, should be matte, and then you can glow with your blush and highlighter that way. Some alternatives, you know, these are all dupes. They're all trying to be Charlotte Tilbury, right? They're all trying to be the Pillow Talk. Well, this one's the Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. I used to have the contour wand. That was a beautiful formula, but I realized not everybody is going to be able to fork out like the $40 price tag that these are, let alone all the shades in them. You can easily own all the shades in these e.l.f. ones because they're priced at $9, and then you can use your Ulta coupon, get them on sales, use some Ulta points. You know, you can't beat the original. I think Charlotte has a beautiful formula, and if you want just perfection, you know, you want something that's going to work, it's going to be reliable. I mean, nothing beats the original, right? Tarte did come out with their new Shape Tape Sculpt, or this is the Tarte Sculpt Tape, I should say. And these are contour ones, but I also feel there's a little bit of bronziness in them, but I have been enjoying these. Now, these retail for, I think, $35. In some cases, you can get a brush with them as well. I ordered mine from the QVC website, so they came with a brush, which was actually pretty good. And it's the same deal. It's the same type of packaging, and I like these. I like these. I don't think they provide as much of a glow as these e.l.f. ones do, so this would be a nice like midpoint, or maybe it's like slightly high-end product to consider picking up. They also have blushes. Did I bring out any of those e.l.f. blushes? I don't think I brought them out, but the blushes, they are called Blush Tape. They are just like the blushes here that I showed you from e.l.f. And I think those have slightly more pigment, and those blend a lot easier, the Tarte ones, than the e.l.f. ones do. And I feel like those Tarte ones look a lot better on the complexion, especially if you have larger pores into this area like I do, because I used to suffer from acne. I think the Tarte ones do a much better job than these e.l.f. ones do. Now, when it comes to highlighter, I think the e.l.f. highlighters, I think they did a good job with them. I'm definitely going to be using these going forward. But if you picked up, you know, the Halo Glow liquid filter, you could easily use this as a highlighter. I think these are a little bit more glowy than these are, but this is a very versatile product, and I have a video where I'm swatching all the shades and showing you, I think, like 6 or 7 different ways to use this product. I'll have that video linked up above, and I'll have my e.l.f. playlist linked in a pinned comment. But I picked up almost every single shade in these, and I can use these as like liquid bronzer, I can use it as highlighter, I can use it as primer. I mean, you can just use it in so many different ways. So I really like these products a lot better than I like these new ones from e.l.f. I do want to mention that Flower Beauty also came out with their low light contour ones, and I have been enjoying these. These are gonna be more of like a natural to matte finish. They're not gonna be as glowy as these e.l.f. ones are. So if that's something you're looking for, it does have the same style, like puff style applicator, that dabber, and you can find these like at Walgreens and CVS. I picked up mine at CVS. These are a little bit more expensive. I want to say these are like $12 or $14, but they also have highlighters as well. They have like a pink one, a gold one, and a bronzy one. Very similar, just a little bit more expensive than the e.l.f. ones, but I've been enjoying those quite a bit. And I also, last but not least, I want to point out the Milani. So at the drugstore in this type of packaging with a puffer, I don't think you're going to get better than Milani. I have the contour and I have the highlighter. I don't know that they released any blushes yet in this style. I hope they do, because when they do, I definitely want to pick them up and try them for you guys. But I have O2 Ginger in this one. This is the Milani Liquid Contour, and I'm just going to swatch it here on the back of my hand, and you're going to see it does have some warmth in it. So I don't know about them calling them contours when they have all this warmth. I think they should just call them, you know, liquid bronzer. Nothing wrong with that. And I like it. This is a really nice formula. It blends out really well. It's along the similar price point, but you do get a little bit less product in here. You do get 0.2 ounces. Here is the highlighter shade that I have. I have the lightest shade, which is 01, and I'll just swatch that next to their contour. And super similar to what you can find in e.l.f. But I've just had, going by first impression, you know, experience, I've had a much better time with these from Milani than I did, you know, initially from these e.l.f. ones. So my final thoughts are, maybe try one of the contour ones, especially if you're amongst the fairest or deepest complexions, I think those two shades are going to work out really great. I think everything in between is going to act more of a bronzer, and that's quite all right if you want a glowy bronzer. But if you already picked up a lot of shades in this one, then you don't need the new one. I would pass on the blushes. I didn't really like the blushes. I don't feel like they blended out that well, and it's a very sheer wash of color, but I would recommend checking out maybe one or two of the highlighters. But overall, guys, those are my thoughts. So that wraps up today's video, guys. Now I gotta hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are on these new e.l.f. beauty wands, Halo Glow beauty wands. Are you gonna be picking any of them up? Maybe you ordered some already, or maybe you're going to be heading to your local Ulta today or tomorrow to check them out in store. Sound off in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. And I'm going to see you all very soon. Bye.